Some of my favorite moments in wrestling comes from those times when a wrestler seems to pull off something crazy, seemingly out of thin air, or as wrestling fandom likes to say, from out of nowhere. This especially hits different when it involves them narrowly escaping a situation that would surely have left them cooked. It goes even crazier when they're not only able to avoid their opponent's attempt to get them all the way up out of there, but they turn it into an opportunity to make their opponents put the fries in the bag. In the world of professional wrestling, there is nothing more beautiful than seeing somebody counter great offense with even greater offense. So in this one, we're going to address something that I've been wanting to talk about for a long time, and that is finisher to finisher reversals. So WGC, I need you to go ahead and give those problems to God, but let me hold that attention. Lock in and let's work. Defensively, one of the dopest features in the game is the catch finisher feature. These allow you to catch an unsuspecting diving opponent completely off guard by canceling their flight plans into a signature or finisher of your own. They are one of few features that are just beautiful to watch, and to be honest, I get hyped for it every time I see it. But even with that being said, I think it is long overdue for 2K and VC to expand our defensive capabilities. And I cannot think of a better defensive scenario than not only snatching a victory away from your opponent, but actually putting them on the edge of defeat in the process. This makes up the entire identity of finisher-to-finisher reversals. Big moves and unpredictability is just a beautiful chaos in the world of professional wrestling. And I would love for VC's gaming counterpart to be no different, giving players the defensive tools to switch the momentum, and in some cases the match in their favor is never going to fall short of going absolutely crazy. So now that we've discussed the why this feature is needed, let's jump into the how VC can actually pull this off. In terms of its execution, there's no reason why it can't follow the same guidelines as traditional reversals. Meaning you are given a window of opportunity, and if you manage to take advantage, then you will be successful at pulling off the reversal. Or in this case, the finisher-to-finisher reversal. Easy work. Now let's get to the more fun stuff and try to bring this concept to life. I think at its foundation, this concept is all about move positioning. To be more specific, it's starting or opening position. Does it open with a suplex or DDT animation? Does it open with one of the big four, the powerbomb, cradle, the over-the-shoulder, or the fireman's carry? This would determine what finisher-to-finisher reversals are available based on the move category. I feel like this is a far more versatile approach as opposed to trying to do things on a move-by-move basis. Trying to tie these moves to a specific one or two moves is extremely short-sighted. Why have an entire feature if it's only going to work against one or two opponents? But tying the feature to different animation categories would bring so many opportunities to actually see this feature in action. And what makes it such a W is the fact that it can expand far beyond just being a finisher-to-finisher feature. Because when you realize the number of moves that start with the same opening animation, it just really puts in perspective the number of opportunities that the players would have to actually take advantage of this feature. So jumping into some examples, and probably one of the easiest ones I could think of, let's take a look at Rey Mysterio's 619 setup. This move starts with the Hurricane Runner that launches your opponent into the second rope. The Hurricane Runner also shares animations with the powerbomb carry position. And this is the common ground where the finisher-to-finisher feature should be built upon. Keeping with this logic, that means that any move that has the opening powerbomb animation can be reversed into the 619. So not only does this encompass a majority of the powerbombs, but it also could include moves you might not even be thinking about, like a majority of the pile drivers, the pedigree, the Styles Clash, because a lot of those moves share that powerbomb opening animation. Imagine how much more dangerous this makes a guy like Rey Mysterio. Speaking of dangerous, let's move on to the three most dangerous letters in all of sports entertainment. RKO! Seriously, you know we couldn't get through this video without mentioning Randy Orton. He is the poster child for a feature like this, as the RKO is probably one of the most versatile and unpredictable moves in all of wrestling. As the phrase goes, he can literally hit this move from out of nowhere. And that's the kind of interpretation that I need this feature to have. We've seen him counter into the RKO from the fireman's carry position by way of John Cena's attitude adjustment. We've seen him counter the twist of fate into the RKO, which has a DDT/suplex opening animation. We've even seen him counter Undertaker's choke slam into the RKO. And for the sake of this concept, I would classify that more in the Uranage family. So in theory, that's 3 different opening animation categories that could be countered into the RKO. And perhaps the most beautiful thing about this concept is that you only really need 1 RKO counter animation for each move category. So let's say 2K was gracious enough to bless us with all 3 of the aforementioned move categories. That means all moves that start with the fireman's carry animation would have the same counter RKO sequence. All DDT and suplex opening animations would have a different counter RKO sequence. Same for the Uranage and so on. The potential for this feature really could be something special. Another good example would be the likes of Kurt Angle, Chad Gable, and Bret Hart being able to count a majority of the kick offense into their finishers. So this includes things like super kicks, enziguris, drop kicks, big boots, and even dare I say things like Aleister Black's Black Mass. I'm feeling generous. I would even throw in AJ Styles' Pele kick. So imagine reversing HBK's Sweet Chin Music immediately into an ankle lock. No extra steps needed, no having to perform a leg catch first and then going into it, no, just straight into the finisher. Continuing with these same set of guys, I also feel like they should be able to counter a majority of the powerbomb category offense into their finishers as well. Maybe starting the reversal animations off with a double leg or ankle pick sequence and going directly into the finisher. And the beautiful thing about this is those animations are already a part of their finishers anyway. So putting things into perspective, that's the entire kick catalog, and all you really need is like 2 counter animations. And they could use this exact same philosophy for submission finishers that target the arm. For example, a yes lock or a crossface finisher. VC could allow all punches, chops, and clothesline to be countered into the crossface finisher. And just like the example we gave with the ankle lock, all you really need is 1 or 2 animations to tie this all together. So imagine being able to counter the likes of the Superman punch and the clothesline from hell into a yes lock. Now, when it comes to finisher-to-finisher reversals versus running and corner finishers, I would approach these a little bit different from standard corner and running reversals. These moves are typically reversed right before the point of impact. But for the sake of the finisher-to-finisher reversal concept, and especially in the case of manual running finishers, meaning the finishers where the player has to actually hold down the run button, in this case, I would love for the reversal to be based on distance and proximity as opposed to point of impact. So if your opponent is manually running at you, once they get within a certain range, that's where the reversal window should be. This would allow them to give us some unique finisher animations that are tailored for this specific situation, and allowing things to play out a lot smoother to prevent some of those snap into place, warpy kind of animation. And I know this scenario is less of a finisher-to-finisher reversal concept because it's more of a counterattack against your opponent's attempt to run at you as opposed to reversing their finisher. But for the reasons I stated previously, it just feels like a much better option. But hey, that's just my opinion. If you have a concept of your own that you would like to share, I would love to hear it. Please drop it down in the comments below and we can discuss it. Now, when it comes to the corner finisher-to-finisher reversals, this is the area I feel like they could put a little bit more sauce on it and personalize things a little bit deeper. Because unlike the running finishers, the corner finishers are animated sequences, meaning unless they're reversed, they have a definitive beginning and end that remains constant. For example, let's use Roman Reigns' corner spear. We can recognize this move from the moment the opening animation starts, and we know every other animation up into the expected end. This is what makes corner finishers perfect for the finisher-to-finisher reversal concept. Because we know those animations are never going to change, this could allow VC to cook up some far more detailed finisher-to-finisher animations for this particular scenario. And again, this is another one of those scenarios where I feel like the reversal window should be somewhere at the midpoint of the move and not at the point of impact. Because like I stated previously, this would give VC more time and wiggle room to smooth out the animations. So let's stick with Roman Reigns' spear as the primary example here. We could potentially get some crispy and well-seasoned counter animations such as a pedigree counter, a super kick or a claymore counter, a scoop into the F5. And the cool thing about it is, because they have the wiggle room by moving the reversal window to the midpoint of the move, it could potentially allow them to use some of the pre-existing finisher animations in certain scenarios, especially in the case of countering a corner finisher with a running finisher. I think for the most part, like the running finisher animations can pretty much remain the same. It's just a matter of combining the finisher and the counter finisher into one big sequence. The drag and carry feature provides another unique opportunity to use the finisher-to-finisher concept, especially when it comes to the carry grapples. If your opponent lifts you into a carry grapple and you have a counter finisher associated with that carry grapple, at the cost of a store finisher, you would be allowed to execute your counter finisher at any time for the duration of that carry. So using some of the examples that we used earlier, if you walk around with Randy Orton over your shoulders in the fireman's carry, then he could legit catch you off guard with an RKO out of nowhere at any time. Same thing could be said if you decide to carry Rey Mysterio around in a powerbomb position while he has a store finisher on hand. If The Undertaker or Kane has a store finisher, then you might want to stay away from using the shoulder carry because you could unsuspectingly end up on the business end of a tombstone. I think this would just be a dope concept and it would kind of make you feel a little bit more cautious about just carrying your opponent around all the time. One thing I did want to address are the Easter egg finisher-to-finisher reversals that exist in this game. I have a love-hate relationship with these because on one hand, they are pretty cool visuals, but on the other hand, they are all fluff, no substance. They're like Temu versions of finisher-to-finisher reversals. And if I could be honest, man, they are blatantly disrespectful to the finishers that they're actually mimicking. Every time I've seen these in-game, they get no-sold and basically make the finisher look weak. That's because the game doesn't recognize them as finishers, it's just a cool aesthetic. Seeing Undertaker reverse a tombstone into a tombstone of his own, only to have an opponent just get up out of the blue like within 2 or 3 seconds, that's no instant recovery or anything. He just gets up. That makes me want to crash out, bro. And that is all the more reason why this feature needs to be legitimized. We do not need to devalue finishers any more than they already are. Another reason I would love to see this feature legitimized is because it could potentially lead to another feature that I've been wanting, and that is having some semblance of a reversal moveset. I think being able to select your own reversals, even if it's somewhat in a limited capacity, would still go crazy. Sticking with the positional concept of this video, instead of the typical RNG reversals, imagine being able to counter a powerbomb with a double leg and into a leg type submission, or maybe an Alabama slam is more your speed. If you want to be more technical with it, maybe a back body drop is your choice. Or if you're just trying to get that victory by any means necessary, maybe a double leg and into a bridge and pin. Now what if I told you that you didn't have to select just one of these, but you can have all of these at your disposal? All you have to do is hold the left thumbstick in the direction of the move that you want to pull off and hit the reversal window. Easy work. Choice is truly a beautiful thing. I would love a scenario where VC can give us a mixture of strikes, grapples, escapes, and submissions, counters, and even some no-sell animations, and let us craft our own reversal movesets. I think this would just be another way to give players more freedom and allow them to play how they want to. Quick plug, if you would like to see some more of my reversal and finisher concepts, please check out these videos. But WGC, appreciate y'all for rocking with your boy, man. It is truly appreciated. You guys are a legit blessing, man. I can't stress that enough. And with that being said, I would love to hear what you guys have to say on this one, man. Any feedback is welcome. Again, this is open for discussion, man. So if you have any concepts of your own, please do not hesitate, man. Post them down below, man, so we all can talk about it. This channel ain't about me just talking. I mean, I want to hear what you guys got to say as well. If you know somebody that you think rock with this kind of content, share the video. If you want to help out the channel, go ahead and run up the likes for the boy, man. But anyway, all glory to God. Love y'all. Later, WGC. Yay.